whoever is going to be watching this later or not. I honestly don't even care if anyone's watching this. I'm pretty certain that certain people from Amstelveen are gonna be following this and watching it, so yeah, basically, none other than them I would share. So, first, a little short recap of my life before I met with my former partner and a mother of 3 children. And then a recap of the past year and just really recent events, because I don't know whether I'm still gonna be able to do anything from here on and what's gonna happen with my life. It's just terrible the way things went again. And it's even visible on my face. I can't get proper sleep. I can't eat. I don't get enough of food to eat. I can't recover. All my body hurts. It's not that I can't handle job rejections and I can't handle the life, but it's gone. After almost a couple of months of really just sheer joy and peace and finding that energy and frequency to fix my life and rebuild myself, want to work again and start looking actively, like really, I've been so active the past 2 months. And then all of a sudden, all it took is just one stupid letter from social services saying that I might potentially kidnap the children. I mean, there's more to that content in that letter, which is wrong dates, incorrect information, all sorts of assumptions made and stuff taken out of the context. Or so old, like I'm gonna go into a concrete example. They wrote down that I was suicidal in front of my children. It was one child, less than 2 years old, and I literally said in front of them, you guys are putting me in a position where I don't know if it's not just best to end this all. How can a 2-year child understand that this was a suicidal ideation? They don't. But still, they put that in the paper, making me look like a lunatic. And guess what? With all this pressure and pushing me so far, yes, now I'm losing my shit. I'm losing my peace, I'm losing my mind, I'm losing my patience. I lost everything after that. Again and again. I keep losing more than I can afford, and people just keep pushing me over the limit. Salam alaikum, brother. And welcome to a tough story. Fucking my childhood, abused, neglected, bullied, until I was 13. Then we get evicted from the home, and I have to step up and take care of my 2 sisters and the family and whatnot, and deal with all this. Great. Then, furthermore, I left my mom and stuff because at 17 I was already going through a serious nervous breakdown because of too much responsibility. And was I lazy? Did I go and do hard drugs or not? Or stuff? No, yeah, of course I drank some alcohol. I was smoking weed, like any bloody teenager would do at that point, but in my situation. But no, I did go to school. I worked a job. I worked 2 jobs sometimes, and I finished the school. And I started great career, to be honest. And then first wife. Fine, God bless her. She doesn't know what she's doing. The kid is great. But, that was age 26. Then at age 29, she wants to divorce. No specific reason why, but suddenly she wants to separate. I never could understand what was wrong, who was in the wrong, and what did I do really wrong, other than being, clearly a traumatized man that needs help, and I tried to. She didn't want to go. Okay, move on. I go to UK, get a good job, and start living my life at my best ability, and I was healing and helping myself and all this kind of stuff. Read the Bible. I did so many times, people, really, and the Bible and other texts. I do believe. I mean, literally, God saved my life when a crazy Polish guy attacked me on the boat. An invisible force pulled me back on the boat when he tried to throw me in the water. Do I need to read the Bible? I have an experience with God himself, but it's people It's people who are doing stuff that makes my life impossible to move on. What happened recently? So social services accused me that I might be potentially kidnapping my kids to Slovenia. I have nowhere to go. What kind of logic is that? And then I was in the harbor. I live on the boat. Finally found one harbor where people said, okay, we understand your situation. It's very difficult, so we can help you out a little bit. We have payments, of course. Electricity must be paid immediately. But when it comes to harbor fee, they said, and this is peanuts we're talking. It's not a lot of money, but I only have as much as I have. I'm trying to work and can't get enough. So they said, it doesn't really matter how you pay, monthly, all of it together, whatever it is. But at the end of the 6 months contract, this bill has to be paid. And I'm like, yeah, I can manage that. But there obviously comes a month in between, and this is just after 2 months, where I paid electrical bills and I paid the harbor fee for the past month and everything was okay. And then all of a sudden they start putting pressure. You didn't pay the May. Well, I need a little bit more time, but then I'm gonna pay May and June together and electricity is gonna be paid. No, they decided to switch my power off and they decided to kick me out. Fine. I fixed the issues on my boat that I could fix and I left with nowhere to go. The same thing happened almost a year and a half ago when things escalated in my relationship and I needed help. I also needed protection from an abusive partner. We were both abusive to each other, but I was reacting to her abuse. I didn't know what I'm doing. I was out, exhausted, working so hard that my skin was peeling off my feet. I wish you wouldn't talk so much. Okay. I wish you people would be actually capable of more compassion and then tell me to read the fucking Bible. Get off my stream. To read the Bible so you won't be gay. Get off the stream, Seymour. Fucking troll. Remove. Oh, yeah, people who can't do anything but bully and harass people online even. I want to help people. I want to grow. I want to have a life that I would like to be a dad to my children. And when people are accusing me that I want to kidnap them, great life that I have, dude. I work on it. I found my peace. I found my self-love. And then after that, I get this shit. I'm not circumcised, my friend. I was never Christian or baptized or anything like that. I don't think there is a certain rule that you have to do anything to be in a relationship with the divine. Thank you, Banshee. I need some kindness and love. I'm from Slovenia otherwise. I live in Netherlands and I thought that Netherlands is a lot more humane country. It is only when you have a lot of cash to bribe everyone and pay for your rights here and your lawyers, because you do need them just about anything. To buy a house, you need a lawyer. If you want to get married, because you can never be sure what happens with people and what's their mental health background, especially if they weren't honest with you. Get a lawyer when you're trying to get married and have kids in Netherlands, because if you don't preemptively protect yourself as a man, women here are unfortunately so protected, even when they are abusive, that a man will lose everything, 100% guaranteed, and nobody fucking cares about us. No, I don't have food. I cannot support myself at all. I'm trying. I had last year in summer, I had a job offer for 4,000 euros net worth. I'm a highly skilled technical professional with more than 25 years of experience. I just can't work for the same media industry I worked before because it's abusive, it's toxic. They have lied to all of us in 2020 and abused pretty much all the global society with their lies. And I'm not saying everything about COVID and stuff was a lie, but a lot of it was, and it hurt people mentally and physically. him, or why are you such a child out in public? And first of all, I'm not gay. I've got 4 kids. And even if I was gay, what's wrong with gay people? Everyone is born the way that they are. God loves everybody, dude. You clearly are not a Christian if you're hating gay people or anyone. If you're a hater, you are the worst hypocrite on this planet that I'm actually just talking about. All these hypocrites. Oh, I want to help you. And then backstab. No, I'm not gonna ignore him. Fry in hell, motherfucker. I mean, I am ignoring him, but these children need to grow up, really. I'm not listening. He's just, he's trying to get to me. I know he can't because he's a child. Demonic little creature himself. Troll. That's how far he got to me. Mirror reflection of who they are. Enough of that guy, yeah. I'm gonna remove him from my channel now. He was already reported. So now let's remove this little bitch. Bye. Problem solved. Yeah, of course projection. Weak people are always projecting on others. I mean, this guy doesn't even know what I've been through and what I survived. What I found is like how immensely strong I am. In 1 year, at least 2 people tried to either stab or murder me. So it wasn't that fun. And did I hurt them? No. I tried, I did my best to not do anything bad to them. And then what happens the third time when I figured, you know what, I don't want to really get physically involved with people anymore. So I bought myself a fake gun with plastic bullets. I knew it's really not legal in Netherlands, but what else could I do? The cops didn't give a shit about putting me on a high alert list to help. They knew what kind of situation I was in. Oh, everybody says go to shelters. Yesterday I went to one of these organizations. They call themselves street lawyers. I would rename themselves into street gatekeepers because they told me the same thing, go to a shelter. First of all, I'm not a junkie. Second of all, I have higher needs than just a junkie in a shelter. And people get in shelters here, they get beaten, stabbed, robbed and whatnot. It's the same as living on a goddamn street. I walked into one of those shelters. I thought it was a goddamn nightmare. Needles and paraphernalia is being sold to addicts here for like 50 cents to €1.50 right there on the door as soon as you walk in. Like, welcome. Keep shooting yourself. We don't give a shit about healing you. That's what the message is. I mean, it's unbelievable. Same the guy who was paying a highest bracket, 52% tax here in Netherlands. I paid like €100,000 per year of taxes on average. Maybe less, maybe more, doesn't matter, but a lot. Way more than average fucking Dutch people contribute with their wages. I'm not being derogatory. They just don't get paid well enough for what they do. And it's getting only worse. The food's gone up by 200 to 300% on average. Did the paychecks go? Yeah, 2%. Or maybe lower. Because, let's say, in my own sector where I used to work, a week ago I met my ex-colleague, he got laid off. And a lot of other people got laid off. That was the same company where I actually had an offer last summer to get a job and they got stopped. And why did they get stopped? I'm gonna sound like a racist here, because of the Indians. It's not about people, again, it's about the company that comes from India. It's a huge conglomerate. And they hire sweatshop labor from India, not very competent, unfortunately. And they bring 100 people here. Literally, 5 people replaced 1 person from Spain. And I know that person, she's brilliant, she's a freaking genius. One of the most capable software engineers and project managers I've ever seen in my life. Nope, they fired her, hired 5 other people who are now scratching their heads what to do. The CEO of this company earns 120 million a year. I don't know, guys, if I can do this. A friend of mine who is a harbor master here was kind enough to let me stay for a few days. Tomorrow I still have to leave because I don't want to be a burden to a good guy. I don't know where to go. Everywhere I turned to for help to this country, they gave me less than breadcrumbs. for my contributions to them. Thanks so fucking much, Netherlands, really. And people here are honestly so self-centered that when I saw a poor person stuck on a wheelchair in the middle of a very narrow bicycling lane, this was an electric wheelchair, in the middle of the broad daylight, and this is in front of a rehabilitation center where there's full of these people, so that means there's also other, I don't know, maybe nurses or whatever that could see through the window. A person stuck, doesn't move anywhere, all they can do is like move their head. If you observe just a little bit, there's clearly some distress. I saw it a few hundred meters away. I ran up to him, asked what's the problem. He could mumblingly tell me there's something wrong with the battery and the plugs. So I took a picture from beneath, showed it to him, please just point. And, obviously he could point like this, and he was trying to point on the phone where I need to look. I had to just lay down on my belly on the floor. I found the plug. It was just a simple electrical switch. You had to plug it back in, and the thing worked. The guy starts to cry. And I'm like, why are you crying? We fixed the problem. And he goes, you wouldn't believe, but for the first time in my life it happened. I was stuck here helplessly for more than 20 minutes without anyone paying any attention to me. And then I started to cry because it hurt me. It's unbelievable. In New York, I would say, okay, fine. In China, I would say, okay, fine. But this is goddamn Netherlands. 10 years ago when I moved here, you scratch yourself on the bicycle and there were 10 people jumping to your help, whether you're a man or a female. Now they only jump to help if you're a really beautiful looking female. And that's it. Why I can't go? Because the same, Slovenia, I was, at least when I was 29 already, yeah? So divorced, looking for work and stuff, but the things got really bad. So work-wise, it's not really a lot. I mean, even as a really good engineer, you don't earn the right kind of amount of respect and money and stuff. It's a small country, everybody knows everybody. You open your mouth there, like I do here, believe me, there is unbelievable amount of crap you're gonna get from people, from the police, and from everybody. I did that before. I was a children's rights activist on the media, talking to a national president. The laws for the homeless changed for their benefit because of me, but at the end of the day, I still had to completely remove myself out of that kind of scene and being who I am and really passionate about this stuff, helping the kids, fighting for their rights, fighting for my own rights, and all of this kind of stuff. This is my passion, this is who I am. And I had to remove myself from that story because I was constantly harassed by the cops. They were chasing me by my bloody last name non-stop. And people thought I was paranoid. I had to leave. I had no prospect anymore there. I was hired by a foreign company to work there. 4 people in the team plus a new boss who was from Slovenia. Everybody wanted me in his position because I was competent, I have the people skills, and I also know how to negotiate with really tough other idiots that don't know how to do business right in Slovenia. All of that stuff. No, the little boss who was intimidated by my skills and everything had me fired because I visited Facebook during working hours, even though I had everything finished for my project ahead of the deadline. I mean, it was unbelievable. The Norwegians recommended me to just go and leave Slovenia and go to UK because they had to close the shop 6 months later, pack up an €8 million project and just sell the equipment and leave. That's how bad it was. I did let my guard down a lot. I'm not blaming my ex. Like, she has really suffered a lot. I feel sorry for all the bad shit that I've said in my own distress in the past here on the YouTube or to her and whatnot. I mean, I was under stress myself. I was under immense emotional pressure and manipulation from her. God bless her. I mean, she was just a victim of herself and her past, like me, of my own. I didn't know that, reacting to her abuse is just as bad as her abuse. I was too used to it. I normalized that stuff, like crazy chicks, crazy me. We're gonna get through this also. It wasn't because of her. I was dedicated to a family, to kids as a father. I wanted to make sure they're gonna be safe. I mean, at the end of the day, for 9 years, I was the provider. Until I had the burnout and I couldn't freaking stand up anymore out of bed. And nobody understood. Nobody, even I didn't understand why I can't get out of bed. I was shaming myself. I felt guilty myself. I thought I was really fucking lazy and, I don't know, just incompetent to have a normal life like other people do. It's not true. I have a good had a good life and I can have a good life, but not when like insane social worker makes up a bunch of stories and makes me look like a complete lunatic that is gonna do God knows what. That just throws every normal person out of their peace and rhythm. Not to mention, I'm already starving and trying to survive with so much effort to finally become happy again. And it was all blown out of the window with these simple things. People who can't keep up their business agreements, people who can't be professional enough to stick to the facts and all of that shit. I'm honestly really in all of this stuff, I'm pulling myself back every day. Like every morning I wake up, I'm like, first I think I'm like still just grateful that I'm awake. You know, I have a few people that I met recently that are trying to support me, but they can't afford. It's just fucked up. The only thing I'm thinking could be like pretend that I'm suicidal and call a doctor so they put me in a hospital and 2 weeks off vacation. Crazy shit. I don't want to do this because I'm not willing to end my life, but I'm unable to move on with it. It's a limbo. Yeah, I mean, mental health is really like I was arrogant before to like things like anxiety and depression, even though I suffered from the depression a few times before, but I kind of got out of it myself. So that's how I was arrogant to others. I'm like, you can really get out of it. You can really do a lot to heal yourself. I mean, at the end of the day, in this just past year and a half, because I was fighting with the actual existential crisis so hard, me and my therapist both concluded in December last year that he can't help me out. I couldn't go and attend therapy and I don't know, ERDM therapy, for example, because I was just continuously trying to find enough money to pay for food and pay for the bills. And it was that alone on a daily basis was so stressful that whatever therapy I would have attended would be a waste of time and useless because it just kept adding on. And still I pushed through. Still I did everything I could since December on my own with all the challenges.